Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today we are looking at the Armadillo mini tank. Um, the mini tank Armadillo was first released in the United States back in 1985. The toy was also sold in '86, and unfortunately was discontinued in 1987. This carries up to three figures. The turret swivels and the cannon elevates. Uh, we always had people hanging off the back. Of course, your driver is in the back here as well. This would be another wonderful vehicle that I think they should be really working on for the GI Joe classified line, um, because they're smaller vehicles, and that's really where I'm going with that, and that's the reason why. You make the small vehicles, and we can have fun with those. All right, so. Uploaded here on yojo.com. Um, we do have a wonderful front view of the armadillo, and of course, there's our rear view, and you see the little peg stands, so we could put a Joe's foot on there, so they stay on there a little bit better. And we just kind of put their hands on there, so hopefully they stay there. And a nice side view. This is a very small mini tank. Really, there is no better way to say it than that. And we have another side view. And the thing that amazed me is growing up with this and then seeing something not that far off from there when I was over in Egypt for about a month. The Egyptians have now for them, it's an anti aircraft uh, kind of vehicle. Um, and the turret just swings all the way around so stinking fast, trying to catch up with aircraft and all that. So it has its purpose, and the first thing I think of is the armadillo. So, um, as a young kid growing up with this, and of course trying to play GI Joe in real life, and then to see something that you know does somewhat resemble the armadillo, and of course we have a nice side view and the opposite side in that. It's another one of those vehicles that we would see every so often. Let's see. We have Alpine here. We have Dusty in the controls, and we have Spirit hanging off the back as well. And of course, we can see that there's a winch in there, trying to make sure that if it does get stuck, we're good. And nice box art on the back side of the box, and then how to put it all together. So, okay. So looking at this, I can kind of read some of this. Let's see. Rear deck fighting platform, bar grasp. The things I was looking at: main gun control mechanism housing. Is always trying to figure out exactly what kind of guns these were supposed to be. Um, as I'm trying to come up with all my stuff, that's some of the big things I was always trying to figure out. And it says easily broken or lost pieces. Sometimes a roll bar would break. Now we have some nice pictures from Sunbow. And of course, it's sitting right here at the very beginning. And then, of course, we can airdrop it in. And it's a nice cover here for Marvel. Okay, so the old battle card, a super armored mini tank with roll bar, swiveling turret, and elevating cannon guns. Rear roll bar grasp, 60 millimeter synchronized variable range cluster cannons. Um, quick repair, high speed track assemblies or assemblies. You know, whether you want to call it 60 millimeter, or I think 60 would be a little bit of a harder sell. Just being honest, because a 25 millimeter is really a fairly good size. 60, that is, I mean, it's a tank, and it is supposed to be imaginary play. They can make it whatever. Um, I think 25, maybe 30 millimeter would probably be a lot closer. Here's another little PVC. Uh, Someone had made that, and of course that we have Bazooka there, um, and of course for our commercial, or picture from our commercial. Um, but it's all up to personal interpretation. What's the biggest round that we could actually do, and have it done as a belt fed ammo? That's really what it comes down to, because it's going to have to be done um, And then, of course, here, now we have a version that's got the missiles on there. Sergeant Slaughter's Armadillo, so it's all different camo on here. And then back in '08, and we have our last iteration of it. And it even has a rack on the side for holding some gear, um, which is a nice little upgrade to it. Still keeping that same iconic look. Wonderful. And original price was $3.29. See, and it's another one of those things, though. It's a small vehicle. We could easily do this for G.I. Joe. We could make it today. I think you could easily sell for $25, $30. Very simple vehicle. Just keep it basic. If you want to do a HasLab and really deck it out, go ahead. But keeping it simple in that would work. Okay, so now we're looking at this in our flow sheet here that I've created. So I've kept this at a speeder scale. It's 13 feet long, 3.9 meters. And I think I should probably put an M in there. All right, has a crew of one, 2 passengers on the rear step, 45 kilograms for cargo storage, full coverage. Of course, altitude is going to be on the ground. I gave it a maneuverability of 3. I guess it could be argued one way or the other, but that's where I kind of decided. Being a smaller vehicle, I figured 3 was probably good. But let me know in the comments if I'm going a little overboard or not here. Now, I gave it a 30-mile-an-hour limit here. A lot of the tracks, especially once we start getting small, we do like to keep a limit on it. Maybe we should bump it up to 35. Right now it's at 30. Something to think about. Now, for speeder scale, it is a 3D plus 2 for body strength. I figured that was probably pretty good on par. A little bit stronger than our average cars and all that stuff. Something that we can kind of deal with. Trying to keep the weight down so it's fast and maneuverable. Kind of going with that thought. It's a quad blaster cannon, so being speeder scale, maybe if it's I give it a 1D plus 1 because we don't have any extra sights on there, so it's going to be more rudimentary sights, keeping everything as light as we can. And it does have a damage of 5D. Now the question is, should I keep it at speeder or should I really bump it up to a Walker scale? So that really gets to be the whole question. If I bump it up to Walker scale, it really does turn it with the 4 cannons more into like an anti-tank. 5D is a little on the light side, but it's anti-tank. If we're leaving it at speeder, once we go up to a tank, it's only 3D, seeing it can do damage to it. It's just going to take a little bit longer. But on the other hand, if we go down to personnel, it's going to do 7D, and our fire control is really going to be wiped out, and it's going to get harder for you to hit personnel. So just kind of keeping that in mind. I think maybe we should just leave it the way it is. I think that kind of works out pretty well. But it is always food for thought. You're always trying to find that right sweet spot that it should really kind of fit. Having the 4 of them, I think 5 is pretty good for that thought here. There again, I was thinking something more along like a 30 millimeter cannon or so, or 4 of them. We can do that with an A10, and we can chew up tanks. I just don't know if that should be speeder or Walker, but for now we'll keep it at speeder. We'll see what everyone else says when they look at this and give me comments about it. I think speeder should probably be fine, but like I said, it's always trying to walk that fine line. Which one do you think it really deserves to be a little bit closer to? If we keep it lighter weight, having a lighter cannon on there, it works better than if we beef it up, make it heavier, and go in from there. As far as for the speed, keeping a governor on there, it's not to say that you couldn't have a character that speeds us up a little bit more than someone else. Hard to say, um, and we can go from there. Um, all this stuff is always kind of fluid. You know, where do you really try to hit this? Where you know what angle do we want to take on it? Um, so with that, uh, it's fun bringing this out to the public and letting you guys see it, and then I open myself up for criticism to say, do you think it should be one way or the other? And you know, the comments will come in, and we'll see where we end up. Maybe what I'll have to do is I'll have to have a quick go through, and I should probably put like a little asterisk or something to say what's been modified, or even just leave it alone, and maybe we'll just it's out here, so it's something. If it's something that interests you as something to play, by all means, grab the stuff, add it to your own collection of fun things to do with the guys. Have a good time with it. That's what I made it for. So, with that being said, hope your day's going well. We'll see you in the next video.